Kezia, she had a very formal relationship with her father. As her father was very strict, so she was very afraid of her father, and she never had a normal relationship which a father and a daughter usually they have. So as she was very scared, she considered her father to be very giant size because of the height and size of her father. She considered him to be a giant sized person and avoided him as much as she could. So how she used to avoid, whenever her father used to come back from work, she would never go and speak to him by her own, and she would try to avoid him. Like in the morning, she would just wish him good morning, and that's it. She would not say anything further. She would never discuss things with him. So she tried to avoid him as much as she could, and as she was very afraid of him. Now, she would also mumble in terror whenever she was near him. So if she is talking to her father, she was never able to speak clearly. She was never able to speak properly in a sentence. She used to mumble. Okay, mumble is when a person is not able to speak a word clearly. They take small pause in between in order to speak a word or sentence. So why she used to mumble? She used to mumble out of this terror, because she was so afraid of her father that she could not even speak properly. She considered her father to be harsh and a very rude person. She considered that her father was a very harsh person. He was not at all a kind person, and he was very rude person, because time and again we will see that her father used to scold her a lot for the little things or whatever Kezia used to do wrong. So father used to actually point her out and tell her that these all things are wrong, and he used to shout at her, beat her, and rudely he would actually tell her that this is not right way, this is the right way. So her father was actually a very strict person, and her father would act time and again we will see that her father used to scold her a lot. Now, as she was not having a good relationship with her father and mother also, because both of them were working and they did not have a lot of time to spend with her. Now, this happened most of the time with working parents. Like if the parents are working, they're so busy in their own life, in the work, and in order to give a better lifestyle to their kids. Why the parents they work so hard? In order to give better lifestyle to their kids. Now, kids they do not understand this thing. They do not understand कि अगर parents इतना hard work कर रहे हैं, why they are working that hard? They are working for their kids only. So usually it happens that kids they do not understand this thing and take their parents in a very wrong way. They do not try to understand them. They take them completely in a wrong way. So similarly in the story also this is the same which is happening. Now Kezia's mother and father, as they both were working, they have to work very hard. And that's why they could not take out time for Kezia, and that's the reason Kezia did not like. And on the other hand, her father used to be very tired after work, that he cannot just go and spend time. Instead, he used to get irritated a lot because Kezia was a little girl who used to commit a lot of mistakes, because of which her father usually got very annoyed and used to scold her for all the wrong things she used to do. Now, grandmother, who also lived with them, did not like. She always wanted that there should be a good bond between Kezia and her father and mother. So that's why every Sunday grandmother would send Kezia to her parents and would ask her to spend time with them and understand them in a better way, because grandmother could actually see grandmother was a very neutral person who could see both the sides, who could see that father is also right and Kezia is also right on her part, and that's why she wanted that both of them should actually make a bond and should actually understand each other in a better way. Furtherly, we see that her father would lay down on sofa and mother would read newspaper whenever Kezia would enter their room in order to spend time with them. So on Sundays that father and mother would have a lot of spare time, so they wanted to spend that time with their own selves and do things that they are not able to do. Usually they are not able to do during the week time because of their hectic jobs. So her father, whenever Kezia would come to spend time, would come in their room or in the hall to spend time with her father and mother. So she would always see that her father is laying down in a very lazy way and is half asleep, and he's always laying down on sofa. On the other hand, mother would always be busy with the reading newspaper. Her mother would actually be reading newspaper, and that's how her mother used to spend her spare time. Now what happened, grandmother who could see that there is still no good bond between them would actually keep on pushing Kezia, And one day she even asked Kezia that as her father's birthday was approaching, it was coming, so she asked her kid to actually prepare a gift for her father's birthday. So she says that okay, you have to prepare a gift for your father's birthday. Now, as grandmother asked her, so Kezia also got very excited and she wanted to make something for her father with her own hand, and that's why she started preparing pincushion. So pincushion is a small cushion which is stuffed with lot of things, like usually it is stuffed with cotton or fur, but as here Kezia won't be having, so she will be stuffing the pincushion with papers. Now she prepared a very beautiful yellow color silk fabric pincushion. She prepared it completely, and then she wanted something to fill inside it. As she could not find any cotton or anything to fill inside it, so she went to her parents' room, and there she saw some papers and decided that these papers are maybe not of any use. So she took those papers, tore it and stuffed it into the pincushion. So as she stuffed it into the pincushion, and then she was very happy that her pincushion is ready and she'll be gifting this to her father. Now after some time, after few hours now, we see that father is in a very he's in a very angry mood. He's very mad. Now why he's mad is because he is unable to find his important speech which was for the port authority. His father has written and it was a very important speech for him. So as her father was not able to find it, so her father was very angry and he was searching it everywhere possible. As father was not able to find the speech, so he asked all the family members as if they have seen it. Now Kezia, she admitted that yes, she has taken the papers and she tore those papers and filled it in the pincushion. Now father could not understand the intention, why she actually did it. Kezia's intention was not wrong. She wanted to gift her father and that's why she has used those papers. But her intention was not wrong, but she was a very immature kid who could not realize that that paper could be a very important document also. So what she could have done is she could have at least asked her parents that if the papers are important or not. But she did not even do it, which was mistake on her part, and that's why Kezia's father beated her with a ruler. He started beating her with a ruler. So as Kezia was beaten very badly with the ruler by her father, so Kezia was very sad and she also cried miserably. She cried a lot. The reason why she cried is because she was not able to understand why her father was punishing her. She just told the truth and there is nothing bad in telling the truth. Kids are being told to tell the truth and that's what she did. She just came and she told the truth. But because of her truth, her father started beating her. So she could not realize why her father was beating because her father did not even tell her the right reason. Now, if you see this part, here we can see that first of all, there is no doubt that Kezia mistake is there. Kezia was actually at fault for not asking if the papers were very important, and she did not even ask her father once or mother once that can she use these papers? No doubt, there was Kezia's mistake. Second mistake of Kezia was that she told the truth, but she did not even ask for the reason why she was being given that punishment. Now coming to Kezia's father, her father was also at fault equally because her father started giving her physical punishment. So when a parent is giving physical punishment, child, they do not understand. Child, they become more aggressive about it. Because when you're dealing with a child, her father should have understood that to deal with her daughter, instead of beating her, instead of using harsh word, if Kezia's father would have told her politely, maybe Kezia would have understood it in a better way. Instead of disliking her father, Kezia would have understand the complete situation and would have liked her father for telling her mistakes. Now father directly he started beating her without even giving her a proper reason. As father has not given valid reason, so that is obvious that Kezia would be committing the same mistake again. So father should have understood at this point that she is a little girl who needs to be told that this is wrong, this is right, this should not be done and that should not be done. Her father could not understand this because he was always very busy with all the job and all the work he had, all the burden he had. He was so occupied with it that he cannot take out time and understand her daughter in a very well way. understand his daughter, sorry. Now later in the evening, she sees Mr. McDonald playing with his children and having a merry time. Now in the evening, when she's all like crying and her grandmother also comes to convince her, she also tells her not to cry and that this is something that usually happens. So that's how fathers are, that's how parents are. So you should not feel bad about it and stop crying. You are a very brave girl. So grandmother was consoling her by saying all these words. So later in the evening, she sees from her window her neighbors who live just opposite her house. She sees that opposite her house lives Mr. McDonald's. So as she saw him, she was very happy because Mr. McDonald's was playing with his children and he was actually enjoying a lot with his kids. He was also carrying his kids in his arms and shoulders. So Kezia, when she saw all these things, she became very jealous. And at this point, she realized that all fathers are not same. All fathers are not like hers. Every father is different. Every father has a different values, different nature basically. So as her father was very strict, all fathers are not strict, and that's the point she concluded, that even if she dislikes her father, she should not dislike father overall in the world, because all fathers are not same like her father. Now one day what happens, as she was still having this feeling that she did not like her father, and she for a few days she had this feeling and she was more and more afraid of her father. Now one day what happened, her mother got sick and she was admitted to hospital, because of which her mother and grandmother also has to go to hospital in order to take care of her mother. Now as nobody was there at home, so Kezia was all alone with no one except the cook Alice. Now Alice was the name of the cook. Now she was only in the house with these people. Now Kezia usually used to have a very dreadful dreams, nightmare, bad dreams or nightmare she used to have. So she again had a dream where a butcher with a knife in his hand came closer smiling at her. So she would usually have a dream where she could see a butcher who is carrying a knife and coming very closer to her and is giving her a very weird smile. So basically butcher was actually trying to kill her, and the smile which she had, the butcher had, was actually a very weird laughing smile. Okay, and she was too afraid of it. Now as she usually had this dream, and as she would have this dream, she usually becomes very afraid. She has this fear a lot. Now the reason why she is having nightmare is because her life also was full, she was living a life which was full of fear. That's why she could not even sleep properly at night. Now as she was too afraid and she did not have her mother and grandmother close to her where she could actually go and could sleep with them, or actually who could come and give comfort her, she was not having anyone. So as she was screaming, her father, who was next to her room, he came back from the hospital, he heard and he came to her room, he hugged her and he then consoled her, and then he carried her to his own room. Now here we see that when he carried her, he's actually comforting her. He is giving her all the comfort and trying to make her sleep again. Now at this point where her father has shown a little love and concern, at this point Kezia actually realizes that her father is not a bad person. Her father loves her the way every father in this world they do, and he has a big heart, but he was too busy to express it. The thing which her grandmother wanted her to understand from the beginning, now she finally understands it, that her father was a very busy man. He did not have a lot of time to spend with her, and that's the reason why her father was not able to show his true side to her. Her father was not at all a bad person. It was just that he was so occupied with his own work that he was not able to spend a lot of time with her and give her a lot of love and care which she actually deserves. So story ends on this note. Let's see what the writer actually wants to convey from it.